Will 19 Bill Cosby accusers be able to testify at his new trial? We're expecting a decision from a Pennsylvania judge soon. Cosby, for his part, will be retried next month, accused of sexually assaulting Andrea Constand while she was unconscious. The jury in the original trial, as you remember, was deadlocked. Besides Constand, only one other accuser was allowed to testify in that trial. Now prosecutors are trying to push. They're pushing to allow the additional 19 accusers to take the stand. Defense attorneys say these women don't meet the legal requirements to do so. But remember, more than 50 women have come forward to accuse Cosby of rape or assault. Joining me now is one of those accusers, Lili Bernard. And I heard you breathing, almost ramping up, being prepared to talk about this. This has dominated your life for the past while. How are you feeling going into this next trial?
I'm feeling blessed. I want to first offer my condolences to Mr. and Mrs. Cosby and the extended family on the passing of their daughter and son.
She died 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I offer my sincere condolences. It brought me sadness. But your question again?
How are you feeling going into this trial?
Okay,
the retrial.
I'm feeling skeptical.
Skeptical why?
Well, okay, let's put it this way. What I witnessed last year when I went to the first trial was a spectacle, which lends testimony to why only 2% of rapists ever see the inside of a jail and why rape victims seldom report the crimes that they've suffered. And that is because I witnessed a sort of like an acronym, like a really acerbic, horrible three-ring circus. And I saw defense attorneys directing the attention of jurors to dated and dazzling, however dated they are, rape myths that the jury bought, much like a ringmaster would direct an audience's attention to like the world's tiniest man or the most amazing bearded lady.
It felt like a circus-like
It was a
atmosphere to
three-ring circus, and so no wonder rape victims seldom report crimes.
Do you feel confident that these 19 accusers, that the prosecution is chomping at the bit to prove there was a pattern with Mr. Cosby? Do you feel hopeful that they will be allowed to, or at least some of them will be allowed to testify?
I feel hopeful. Common sense would say that they should be allowed to testify because there are 62 known Cosby accusers, publicly known Cosby accusers, of which I am one. So how would common sense only allow one of us to testify? That does not make sense to me. I think that, you know, whereas the Me Too movement, of course, has brought up a lot of awareness, what has it done for accountability? And we need to educate a lot of people about rape. We also need to reform the laws. To me, it makes absolutely no sense that we would not be able to testify because it would prejudice the jury. Why can't a jury know that there have been 62 women who have accused the man of similar crimes?
Well, even in your own case, the assault that you reported, that you said happened in 1992.
No, not 1992.
Oh, it was earlier than that.
Yeah, it was before that.
It was before that. New Jersey, where you say the assault happened, were you living there at the time?
No, I was not living there at the time, but what happened there was that the assault happened just a few months outside of the statute of limitations.
There's no longer a statute of limitations on sexual assault, but in your time period,
it was just a few months outside of the statute of limitations, so that the prosecutor couldn't even consider pressing charges, regardless of the fact that I have a number of witnesses and that I have credible witnesses and compelling evidence.
Does that,
which I brought with me to the detective's office.
Does that make you, the fact that you didn't get your day in court and you won't have your day in court, do you feel that in a way that's why you're with Andrea Constand even more, like in a way that she's there as your representative? Yeah. Is that a fair way to put that?
Absolutely. I look at her as the catalyst of the Me Too movement. We are definitely in a war against rape. As Gloria Alvarez said, there's a war on women. So I look at it as we're soldiers and that she is the Joan of Arc in the war on rape. So yes, it is to provide support for her, whom I've come to know as a friend, but also just to do as much as I can to help shift rape culture towards believing women.
Do you think we've been talking a lot about the fact that the Me Too movement there's something that has shifted. I think we all feel it. And I often have wondered, how would this case have looked? How would the accusers coming forward those years ago have looked now instead of then? Do you think about that often?
I do think about that, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of that. I look at Andrea Constand as like sort of like a diaphragm that's allowing all these voices to spring forward, So I'm hopeful that the judge, who seems to be a very conscientious man, from what I witnessed, will take into account this new culture, which is leaning towards believing women.
Lili Bernard, you're something.
Oh, you're something.
And I know this has been tremendously trying for you, and I know you'll be watching very carefully to see what the judge in the case decides, if or not they will allow those 19 other accusers to testify at the retrial of Bill Cosby. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you more.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you.